Hello everyone, this is Troy Harper. I'm doing my first video for YouTube about cigars and just hanging out in my cigar lounge that my wife put together for me and my son as well last August on my birthday. So I'll show you my lounge down here, or my speakeasy maybe is what you'd want to call it. But I'm a store manager at a store called Main Street Market through the company Panhandle Co-op here in Kimball, Nebraska. And I carry cigars in my store, premium cigars, anywhere from Deadwood Tobacco Company to Perdomo, which is on its way, Oliva, Cahiba. I've got a very wide variety of cigars in my store, which is pretty rare for a grocery store to carry cigars, but I've carried my passion to my grocery store, which I love, and it was a need for this town. People were definitely wanting it, so I brought them in, and kind of a nice thing for me as well. I do order cigars online, but it's sure nice to have them right in my store whenever I want one to bring home and smoke. But anyway, I'm in a small town called Kimball, Nebraska. I've been here almost 6 years now. My wife's been with me down here almost a couple of years now. We just got married last September, I'm sorry. We bought a house together, and fortunately, cigars were always something that I smoked just once in a while here and there throughout my life. Mainly, if you want to call them, I don't know what you'd call them, just the cigars you would find in like C-stores or convenience stores. I don't know, I'm trying to remember what they were called that I smoked. The Swisher Sweets, that's what it is. Throughout my life, would always smoke those just maybe on my birthday or if I went camping, which I haven't camped now for quite a few years. My back just, I'm in good shape, but just laying on hard grounds and stuff, but my back just doesn't like it anymore. So I've stopped doing that for quite a while now. But now last year, it was around Father's Day, close to Father's Day. Very stressful week at work, and it was my last day of work until I was going to be off the next morning or next day, and came home just pretty stressed out. And I told my wife, I need to go find a cigar and have a glass of wine or something just to calm me down. So went up the street to a place called oh gosh, I can't even think today. Vince's Corner is the name of the place here in Kimball, and they just happened to have some Swisher Sweets, so I bought a pack of those and smoked one of those, and had a little can of Stella wine. It was the black, if I remember right, and it just calmed me down immediately, and it made me feel pretty good. And so I told my wife, I was like, wow, that was something I needed. And so Father's Day came around shortly after, and I woke up, and my wife and my son had bought me a Camacho. I forget which one it was at the time, but a Camacho, and it was a New World cigar. And my son told me I couldn't smoke them unless he was with me out on the porch at the time. So I told him I'd wait. So a couple of days later, I smoked them, and they were so good. I had never really had premium cigars too much in my life. Had gone to Dallas a couple of years ago, and actually got to go down and see a buddy of mine that is in charge of, or is a rep for Religion Tequila. And Kenny Gant and Ed Too Tall Jones from the Dallas Cowboys had partnered up in this company as well. And I'm a huge Dallas Cowboys fan. You can kind of see some Cowboys stuff behind me a little bit maybe. And so he invited me down to spend a few days in Dallas with him. And while I was down there, we were able to go to a little private club and hang out with Kenny Gant and Ed Two-Tall-Jones from the Dallas Cowboys. They had retired quite a while back, and got to meet my two of my heroes, and we all smoked a premium cigar together. And that was the first time I'd had it was a Fat Bottom Betty from the Deadwood Tobacco Company, through Drew Estates, of course. And that was the first time I'd ever had a premium cigar, and I thought that was just one of the most wonderful things I'd ever had. But it made it more special getting to hang out with a couple guys I had looked up to throughout my life. And so anyway, after that, I was always had it in my mind that that'd be something that'd be kind of nice and to kind of have once in a while. But of course, here in Kimball, Nebraska, I don't get out of town much, and there just really wasn't that kind of stuff here in town. And there are towns close to us that sell it. The other mainstream market in my company over in Scottsbluff, Nebraska, which is 40 minutes away, they've got premium cigars, and that's where my wife and my son had bought those for Father's Day for me. So after smoking those that day on the porch with my son, I thought, wow, this is definitely a second heaven. So I of course started getting on the internet and started researching and started ordering a little bit here and there. And also, lo and behold, for Father's Day for my birthday, my wife and my son got me my first humidor, and got me a nice cutter and lighter and the whole work. So I definitely started buying more and collecting and doing research and started ordering in some cigars for myself. And then I thought, well, wouldn't it be great to have them at my store, since our other co-op, which is our big grocery store, there's three of us in our chain, by the way. There's one in Torrington, Wyoming, mine here in Kimball, Nebraska, and then the big one over in Scottsbluff, Nebraska, and that's where our corporate offices are as well. And so I thought, well, wouldn't it be great to have my own cigars in my store, and to kind of have this available for people that have the same passion for them as I do now. And so I started passing the word out that I was going to start bringing in cigars, and so guys around here in town were getting pretty excited about that and bugging me quite a bit, wondering when they were coming. And so I told them it was in the works, and we made it finally happen. And so I've had cigars in my store now since last July, and they've been pretty successful. We sell quite a few. I'm now bringing in some Perdomo 10th anniversary cigars, a Champagne, a Sun-Grown, and a Maduro. And like I said, I've got a wide variety now. I'm adding these to it as well. So, and I'm getting ready to smoke a Perdomo Sun-Grown. What I'm going to smoke is a Perdomo Habano Sun-Grown. It's a 6x60. And this will be my first time having a Perdomo today, so I'm really excited about that. But I've been looking into this company, and I'm just so impressed with them. They're out of Miami, Florida, which I used to live in Miami back in early 90s for a couple of years. I lived down there. Almost 2 years, not quite. But Perdomo started around 92, I believe, and they have done a lot to keep their cigar prices down. They kind of cut out the middlemen. That way they can sell directly to brick and mortars and everything. That way the prices stay down. And so sure enough, they're very reasonable. They're about $8.99 or so a stick. Some a little less than that even, and they're very premium cigars. And so I can't wait to finally get a chance to smoke one of these this morning. But before I do that, let me kind of flip the camera around and kind of show you what we've done in our house. We bought a house, unfortunately, and it was before I really got into cigars the way I am. And so the only thing that we had in this house was the main floor, and then we have a big laundry room downstairs, and then another room off to the right, which is kind of a storage room. And of course, my wife had bugged me that I should turn this into some kind of a man cave down here, and I was like, well, I'm fine. You know, I just having you in my life, and is enough. And having this house with you is enough for me. And Marcy, my wife, we went to high school together, graduated together, and was a girl in high school I always wanted to be with, but I never had the balls to ever ask her out. And she was just the prettiest girl in high school, and just loved everything about her. And so it's just amazing how God works. So I found her on Facebook a couple of years ago, and so we've been together ever since, and we get along great. Never an argument, never any bad words between us. She's so generous and just so kind and loving, and she's done so much for me. But so I told her, no, I'm good. I don't need a man cave. I'm happy with what we have here, and we bought an older house, and we did some work to it, and it's nice house. It really is a nice house for an older house. This house has been around since 1917. So, but we fixed it up, and it's a really nice house. But she said I should have a man cave down in the basement. I thought, I don't know. Well, anyway, so she took it upon herself to not only start a man cave for me, she also started a cigar lounge down here for me and my son. I've got two sons, actually. My son that I inherited from this marriage, that Marcy had adopted, and then my other son that came from my first marriage, and he's 24 right now. And Jason, my stepson, I guess, which I don't look at him as my stepson, I look at him as my son. He's 15. So, but anyway, so they got together and they started a cigar lounge for me. And when they first started, it was just two chairs down here and a little coffee table in between the two chairs, and a little air cleaner, which was pretty small. It really wasn't enough to do the trick too much down here. So we ended up adding on a Viva air cleaner as well, which I'm going to start looking down the road at getting a Rabbit Air, which I've heard so much about, just to kind of help keep with odors down. And I thought a second one down here would be good. So I'm looking at getting a Rabbit Air eventually. So anyway, but I was just blown away with what they had started down here for me, and the whole purpose was, we get very bad weather during the winter here. We get very cold, windy, snowy, blizzardy type weather in the winter here, and my wife wanted me to have a place where me and my son could smoke together, my oldest son. And I've trying to get him into cigars a little more. He's more into the vapes and smoking just regular cigarettes, but I've actually got him to smoke a few cigars over time with me. But that was the whole purpose of this in the basement, so in the wintertime we had a place to smoke. Now in the summertime, we've got a really big, nice porch, and this whole last summer, I sat out on the porch every night, some afternoons, but mainly every evening, smoking my cigars that I've started collecting for myself. And so a lot of great evenings out on the porch, and I'll plan on doing that again this summer. But I will probably plan on coming down here too, so but like I said in the beginning, it was just two chairs and a little coffee table, and I they bought me a nice ashtray. It was a wooden ashtray with a drink holder on it and a cigar cutter holder on it, and it was varnished really nice. So I've actually kind of gotten into collecting some other ashtrays over time. I've actually got a Cohiba ashtray. I've got an Ashton ashtray. I've got a Oliva ashtray. I've got a Chasing the Dragon ashtray that I bought from the Deadwood Tobacco Company in Deadwood, South Dakota. We've been there a few times, gotten to know the owner a little bit, and hope to continue building a relationship with him over there in Deadwood, South Dakota, since I carry his product. And looking to definitely trying to build a relationship with Perdomo Cigars, maybe out of Miami. So getting ready to contact them sometime here soon. So I've had some contact with the JC Newman company out of Tampa, Florida as well. So, and I carry some of their product. That's some of the other stuff I carry. I carry the Perla Del Mars. I carry the Julius Caesars and the Brick House cigars as well at my store from the JC Newman company out of Tampa, Florida, which is the oldest tobacco company in the States. They started in around 1890, and they're still going, and it's still ran by that family, the Newman family. So pretty amazing to me. So so between them and Perdomo out of Florida, I'm got some good contacts. I'm hoping to continue building relationships with all these people. So, but let me kind of show you what has turned into what it is now with this cigar lounge down here. Used to be in the music business, so I've got a lot of music memorabilia, and this is only a portion of it what I got down here, but just got music memorabilia and some cigar, a little bit of cigar memorabilia hanging around and everything. But like I said, this in the beginning was just two chairs down here and a little coffee table and or a little end table in between the two chairs, but let me show you what it's turned into. And this area is still the laundry area, so it's kind of nice to come down here and actually do laundry while I'm smoking my cigars too. And so I come down here to smoke, and we've added a TV and a Blu-ray player, and added a refrigerator and a little K-cup coffee maker down here, and so I like to come down here and watch movies and smoke while I'm doing my laundry. So, but let me show you what this has turned into, and see if I can turn this camera around here. Maybe not. Well, I'll just kind of, I guess, show you. I'll just kind of spin around and kind of show you what's behind me, I guess, here. So. Got a lot of cigar boxes on the wall back there. And these were the other things they put up in the beginning, was that cigar neon sign and the little, I don't know what you'd call that, that's standing up, kind of a divider of some sort. That was the other thing they had put up. And they did have another wall provider over there that's kind of covering the water heater, you know. So, but it added some more chairs over there and another little coffee table or end table. And let's see here. Got some memorabilia up there. And there's my coffee table I've added as well. To have my cigar magazines on that I read pretty faithfully. And then there's my TV and my Blu-ray player, my speaker system, and let's see here, coffee maker, my humidor, couple of my humidors. I got two more upstairs, a couple whiskey glasses, and just some, I don't know, got some K-cups over there in my Aussie cup that I got at an Aussie concert a few years back. Over here got my refrigerator, and we've got we got a couple freezers down here we keep meat in, but I've got a nice ice cube supply that I make on my own, the big square ice cubes in that freezer over there that I put in my drinks. So I do like to drink a little rum or whiskey with my drinks or with my cigars, but I like coffee most of the time. That's what I really like. So, but and then kind of added some lights to the ceiling. They're just kind of Christmas lights, but they really add kind of a neat touch to the basement down here. And so anyway, just kind of little bit of what's going on down here. And I do like to have some friends over once in a while to smoke with me, and it's been a lot of fun down here. Never would have thought that we could turn a laundry room into something like this. And unfortunately, there's the washer and dryer. Just wanted to add that in. And then as we go up the stairs here, I've got just all kinds of, I got some different things hanging up. So you can kind of see stuff that I've got up here. There's my jacket from high school, and all my metal patches. Probably my favorite collector's item that I've took to a lot of concerts. Okay, well, we'll go back down now. As you can see, I'm a huge music fan. Huge fan of Striper. Worked with those guys. I've had a relationship with them for a long time now. Christian metal band out of the 80s, and they're still going. They're huge. They're still going and bigger than ever. Of course, a huge Kiss fan, as you can see. Got a lot of Kiss stuff. I've got a lot of Kiss stuff put away, figurines, and just all kinds of stuff. It'd take me hours to tell you everything I've got. Got autographed album covers that are framed, and those are upstairs in my bedroom. So just a huge fan of British metal, Iron Maiden, Sabbath. Gosh, I don't know. Love AC/DC, but they're not really considered British metal. The Sabbath, Judas Priest, I've seen them quite a few times. Got to see Ozzy once. I've never gotten to see Black Sabbath. I always have wanted to see them and never had a chance. Love Ronnie James Dio. Wish I could have seen him when he was with Sabbath or when he was with Heaven and Hell. Never happened. But anyway, I could go on and on and on about music. Anyway, but I kind of want to get into lighting up the cigar and telling you guys what I think of it. And again, it's the Perdomo Habano Sun-Grown 6x60. It's got a Habano wrapper on it. And I believe it was aged in whiskey barrels as well. So pretty excited about smoking this up. So I'm going to set my camera down. Okay, this is part 2 of my video. I kind of messed up. I stopped my video somehow accidentally when I was trying to set my camera up. So anyway, I'm going to try and do that right now again real quick, and try to keep my camera up to where you can see what I'm doing here. Get a sip of coffee real quick. And again, this is the Habano Sun-Grown Perdomo, made by Perdomo, 6x60. And like I said, I believe it was aged in whiskey barrels. So anyway, so I'm going to unwrap this and cut it and light it, and we'll see how it smokes up here. See what it tastes like, see how it's... But very beautiful. Kind of a, I don't know, kind of a tannish, brownish, leathery, kind of a very silky, smooth wrapper. And I love the footband on it, and I just love the cigar bands, golden colored on both of those. Just absolutely beautiful. I actually hate to even smoke this, it's so pretty, but I've had this in my humidor since probably last August or September. So yeah, I've been wanting to really try this, so I just couldn't wait any longer. So get that footband off of there. Trying to be as careful as I can. And I save a lot of my bands, and I've even got a book that my wife got me that I can journal in about my cigar experiences and talk about what all the taste notes and just whatever you can even dream of to discuss. Wrapper's got a nice little sweetness to it. Well, the cold draw's got a little bit of a barnyard, cedary, leathery kind of a taste to it. Not bad, not bad. Go ahead and light it up, toast it here real quick. I do like to go through the whole tradition of toasting and cutting and before I smoke it. Now it just makes it more special, going through the steps and taking time to light it correctly, and just to make my cigar experience more pleasurable and memorable. Well, just a slight sweetness. Always been a John Carpenter fan. All the Halloweens, of course, all of them, but the ones that he did, unfortunately, are the ones that are the first two back in the 78 and 80 are my definitely two favorites. I've kept up on all the movies. I have all the three new ones that have been out over the past years that John Carpenter's kind of had his hand on again. Last one, Halloween Ends. Really good movie. I really enjoyed it, but definitely a twist I wasn't expecting. So if you're a Halloween fan and you haven't seen Halloween Ends yet, I don't know if you haven't even seen Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends in the new franchise, I definitely suggest you check them out. We'll bring back the old feel of the old movies, definitely, that John Carpenter did back in 78 and 80. So I definitely suggest you check those out. But the last one, it definitely had a twist I was not expecting, but I've found myself watching it quite a bit. My wife picked up the Blu-ray for me, and I saw it in the theater 3 times. I've watched it on Blu-ray a couple times, and I don't know. I definitely have a love for that franchise for some reason. It's what I've kept up with ever since I've been a kid. Snuck up at night and watched it on HBO the first Halloween when I was 8 years old. And just have been a fan since and everything. So, but love the old, like the first Psycho, and I love the old Shining, and Amityville Horror. I love the Conjurings. Gosh, I'm not really into like the Friday 13th or the Nightmare on Elm Streets. I'm not into that kind of stuff, the slasher movies. Halloween's been an exception just because of all the suspense and not overly bloody. I mean, I just not sure. I'm not into the films where it's just all blood and gore. I like a story. I like suspense. I like, you know, that kind of stuff, I guess. But anyway, so I've been catching up on all my old horror movies since I've had this down here. It's been nice coming down here watching my movies and smoking my cigars, and sometimes I even do my laundry while I smoke my cigars. So, but anyway, this cigar so far is really, really good, actually. Really good. It's like I said, it's got kind of an earthy barnyard taste to it. But in my first third here is what I'm getting. I'm hoping to see what I get in this, you know, the second third and the last third. So we'll see. But anyway, I'm gonna pause this video for a little bit, and I'm gonna experience this cigar, have a little bit of my coffee, and as I get through this a little bit farther, I will tell you what I'm experiencing with this. And again, this is my first video on YouTube for cigars, and I hope you guys are enjoying hanging out with me a little bit. I watch a lot of cigar videos, and I thought, yeah, it might be kind of fun to maybe dabble in doing my own video. I'm just you know, like I said, I'm a store manager in this town of Kimball, Nebraska. This town's only got about, you know, almost 2,500, not quite 2,500 people in this town. But it's been a great town to live in, and having my wife and my son, you know, moved down after I did almost 6 years ago. And he works for a company called Clean Harbors. It's a big disintegration plant. They destroy waste, and he's been involved with them, and yeah, 5 years plus. So, and I've been managing this store down here in Kimball for almost 6 years now. I've been a part of Panhandle Co-op, which is the chain that I'm involved with that has the store that I'm managing. There's 2 other stores, and they're all called Main Street Markets. Our corporate office and our the first one that was put out back in the late 50s is still going, and that's where our corporate offices are. And then there's the one in Torrington, Wyoming. It's been a great company to work for. I've been with them for 20 years now. Was involved in grocery before that for a few years. But it's been a great place to work, and great people, and they really care about you, take care of you. And so I was offered this store after working with Co-op for 15 years, and so it's been a dream come true being down here, having my own store to run. And so in this town, and we're kind of, you know, we're kind of in the middle of everything. We're close to Colorado, close to Denver, Colorado, about an hour and a half away from Denver. 45 minutes to 50 minutes away from Cheyenne, Wyoming. We're 40 minutes away from a town that's has been famous for Cabela's. I don't know why I can't think of the name of that town right now. Close to Sterling, Colorado. So we're right in the middle of everything. Close to Scottsbluff, which is 40 minutes away, Scottsbluff, Nebraska. So, but anyway, so we get out of town once in a while and go do things, but it's nice being here in this town. It's been a great town to be in, but my passion really is coming home, being with my family, and setting an hour or so ahead or away, you know, to smoke a cigar, you know. But being with my family most foremost, you know, is my biggest passion, being with my family. So. But anyway, hopefully my son will get over here soon, my first son, to smoke a cigar, smoke with me a little bit. But anyway, I'm gonna let you go for the moment, and I will be back to let you know a little more about this cigar. So thank you for hanging with me, and I will be back to you guys in just a few minutes. Well, I'm back, and this cigar is tasting pretty good. Fortunately, the flavor notes really haven't changed much. Still got a mild, medium strength flavor to it. It's had a pretty even burn, and I haven't had to relight it or touch it up or anything. It's still burning good. But yeah, I'm in my second third right now. So, and again, this is the Perdomo Habano 6x60 sun-grown cigar from Perdomo Cigars that I'm smoking. Yeah, I was kind of hoping for some different flavor note tastes that would maybe change up a little bit, but it has been enjoyable so far still, and very good cigar. And like I said, living in a small town called Kimball, Nebraska, grocery store manager at Main Street Market, carry premium cigars there as well. And again, there's the wrapper for the cigar, just so beautiful cigar. I was hesitant to smoke it because it's the only one I've got, but I got these coming to my store. So I thought, well, since I'm gonna have them coming to my store, and I've got 3 different ones coming, I thought, well, why not try it out and taste it and see what I think. You know, that way I can let my customers know what I think and get them excited about it as well. I wish I could have, my ash ended up falling off on me, and wish I could have shown you how beautiful the ash was. It was has been a very nice white grayish ash. But it's just been a very enjoyable cigar so far. But anyway, I'd like to say hi to my mom back in Torrington, Wyoming. And that was the store that I was at for quite a while, was the Main Street Market in Torrington, Wyoming. I was there for 15 years. In the beginning of being in grocery, I worked for a children's home. I was there for 20 years, called the St. Joseph's Children's Home. Worked with youth that were neglected and sexually abused, physically abused. Did that for 20 years. Also put out some of my own music, so at one time I was recording on the side and putting CDs out and doing some touring. I had done, even though I'm a big heavy metal fan, big fan of Christian metal, rock music as well, and so I had done some of my own Christian music. And we were pretty successful, did it for 7 years, put out 3 CDs, got 1 song on the radio that ended up being the most requested song from a local artist. Never went national, had our chance to, but the people I was involved with really kind of wanted to go their own way, so it never happened. We had a chance to go open up for some pretty major bands. Blist is one of them, Christian metal band. That's kind of a side project that Robert Sweet from Stryper started. And then that was during a time when Stryper was kind of split up, but then they got back together in 94, or 2004, I should say, I'm sorry. And they've been going ever since, doing very well. So But so was keeping in touch with Bliss, had a chance to go open up for them and get endorsed to do a recording contract, but because of who I was with, didn't really want to commit and didn't want to continue doing that kind of music. We ended up splitting up, and unfortunately things just didn't stay together. Things just weren't meant to be, I guess. But I had one song on the radio called Together, did very well, and that was back in 2007 that was on the radio. Did very well for about 6 months. Was the most requested song in this area for 6 months out of a station called called KCMI out of Scottsbluff, Nebraska. So out of Scottsbluff, Nebraska. If I didn't say that very clearly, I apologize. So anyway, but it's funny how life, you know, twists and turns, gets you to different things that you would never expect. I started loving the grocery business when I started doing it and stayed with it, and I knew I had to get out of the children's home eventually. It was physically, emotionally very stressful, and it was wearing on me. A lot of physical things that go on with it. Kids get aggressive with you, and you have to get into restraints, which we did restraints out from the MAN system, which was not a pain compliant type of restraint. It was non-pain compliant, but had to do a lot of that. It just was getting very physically wearing on my body, and physically, emotionally, you know, just very stressful. And so I'm glad I stuck with the grocery business. It's been a great business to be a part of. If I had a chance to be back in the music business, I don't think I could do it. I just don't think I could be away from my family all the time and be on the road. And so I love the grocery business. Glad you know, I'm a part of it. So anyway, but a little more about myself, I guess. Hope I'm not boring you guys too much. This is my first video, so it's not professionally done by any means, but my second son, he knows about editing, so he's going to help me with all this, you know, to look professional. So I hope it looks good, what has been done. So of course, as I'm talking right now, none of this is edited, but when you see the final video, it will be. So but anyway, I definitely recommend this cigar to anyone that's just starting out smoking cigars, because it is mild enough to where it's not going to maybe cause you to feel sick or anything like that. Which I do recommend that, you know, if you're going to smoke into Maduros or anything heavier, that you do eat something beforehand, or else you'll kind of get the hiccups and get maybe a little queasy, but I've never really had those experiences too much, I guess. I do get the hiccups once in a while from certain cigars, Maduros more than anything, if I haven't ate anything before, but I've never gotten sick on a cigar, never have. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this, and I'm enjoying hanging out with you guys too. Thank you for tuning in and watching this video. I plan to do more, and I hope over time I will get the hang of this a little bit better. And but for my first video, I don't think I've done too bad. But I'm hoping that you guys will keep hanging with me over time and get to know you, and you get to know me. And sure would like to get some comments from you guys on anything that you suggest that I could do better, or what I'm doing good with. Maybe even give me some feedback on some cigars you've smoked, and let me know what those are so I can maybe try them if I haven't. And I'll do the same back. So, but But yeah, today outside it's about 20 degrees, a lot of snow outside. We had a snowstorm yesterday, which is great for business, by the way, for my grocery store and the other stores as well when there's snow in those areas throughout our chain. But it's great for business, that's for sure. So people, when they hear snowstorms are coming, they come in and just wipe us out. It's like the end of the world is coming almost. I mean, they just panic and come in and just buy a lot of groceries in case they're stuck inside for a little while, I guess. But I never worry about it too much. We usually have something here that can keep us going for a few days if we have to, if we don't get to buy what we need, which we keep a lot on hand here at the house, you know, just in case. But I'm only a few blocks up from the store, so there's times I do walk to the store and walk back home when the weather's not very good, so I don't have to drive in it. Yeah, I hope you guys will keep watching me and tuning into me and hanging out. Not doing this for any money or anything. I'm just doing it because of the passion I have for cigars, and just thought it'd be kind of nice to start doing some of my own videos when I have time. I'll try to do one at least once a week, maybe a couple times a week, and let you know how things are going over this way, I guess. But let me know where you're from and where you're at. Keep in touch with me, and I'll keep in touch with you guys too as much as I can. But yeah, I'm in the second third of the cigar, probably almost halfway, well, not quite halfway through it, I suppose. But it's been a good cigar, definitely. Got to ash real quick here. I dropped the last one on my leg, put a little bit of a hole in my pants, which they're just my lounge pants anyway. I don't wear them out in public or anything, so it's not a huge deal. But yeah, when you smoke cigars, if you're new at it, unless you're outside, try not to let your ashes get too long. You don't want to burn a hole in your carpet or on your floor. Down here I've got cement floors, and I've got a couple nice rugs down here, but yeah, I try not to let the ashes fall, which it happened. They got on my leg, burned a little bit of a hole in my lounge pants, but that's okay. All part of the experience. But I don't know, like I said, this has been burning pretty evenly. You can see it's burning pretty evenly still. I've never had to do a touch up or a relight on this. Some cigars you know, if you're not puffing on them every 30, 40 seconds, every minute maybe. Some of them can tend to burn out on you, but you know, you gotta relight them, which is fine. You know, I mean, every cigar is a little different. Some never, you can go a couple minutes, few minutes without puffing on it, they'll still stay lit still. That's the case with this one. My second son came down and talked to me for a couple minutes about editing and everything, and that's when I dropped my ash, unfortunately, on my leg. But you know, so we talked for a few minutes, and it's still burning. Never had to relight it. But if you're new to cigars, you know, I don't suggest just staying with one cigar. I suggest you try different types of cigars. There's Lanceros, Churchills, there's Gordos. I mean, the list goes on and on for different sizes and flavors of cigars. One thing I love about cigars is, you know, premium cigars. I'm talking about premium cigars. I'm not talking about C-store cigars. I'm talking about premium cigars. A lot of them are the wrappers and the fillers. Long binders, what I prefer. They all come from different countries, regions, to where they combine these different leaves, and so throughout the cigars, you'll get different tastes, you know, from it. It might go from a peppery taste to a sweet taste to a creamy vanilla taste to barnyard taste to grassy hay, leathery oak. I mean, it's just amazing, the different tastes that you get from cigars, and without having to travel, you're kind of getting to experience different countries. So when you're smoking these, you kind of feel like you're in these countries, I guess, in a sense. And it's just, it blows me away, the fact that the time it takes to make a cigar, you know, the people that roll them and put them together, and then the aging process, and, well, of course, the growing process, what they got to go through from the time they put the seeds in the ground, and how the ground needs to be before they can plant it. And I mean, it's such a huge process that they go through to make one cigar, and it's just amazing to me. It blows my mind. I've been reading about, you know, cigars, where they first started and who started them, and, you know, the native people are actually the first to smoke cigars. So and they were made out of corn cobs and stuff that I've read about, and I don't know, it's hard to get into, it's hard to explain it, but it's still something I'm trying to comprehend, you know, all this stuff, you know. So, but I will never stop learning about them, I'm sure. But from what I've read, the Newman family were the first to get it from the native people, and went on from there to make their own, to start making them, and just kept going on and on making them, and distributing them out, you know, and just kept elaborating on them and learning and making them, and getting people, you know, to know about them. And so it's just amazing how it all started. But I'm still learning. There's a lot I'm learning still, and I'm still trying to get down all the different wrappers and fillers, the names of them, you know, their taste. I don't know. There's just so much to learn. It's been a great hobby. I've really been enjoying having this hobby, and I'm always trying different cigars. But my favorites are probably Maduros. I'm a huge fan of coffee, dark coffee. The darker the better. And I like creamers in my coffee, and I like my coffee black. Also a lot of the time. But I like different creamers, tasting different creamers, but I don't use a lot, but I do like kind of having that in my coffee ever so often. But if I have to drink it black, or if I, you know, don't have creamers around, I usually just drink it black, which I really do enjoy, depending on what kind of coffee it is. But I do love very dark black coffee. The darker, the stronger, the better. And I just recently found out that just because coffee's black and dark, like extra bold or whatever, doesn't mean that there's a lot of caffeine in it. It's more for the flavors. So I've discovered that recently. Over all the years I've drank coffee, I figured all the extra dark coffees or whatever I've drank had a lot more caffeine, which is not the case. So, but I love coffees, and I love drinking coffee while I smoke my cigars. It's probably my favorite overall, but my second favorite is drinking a nice little glass of rum. Whiskey, I'm not a huge whiskey person. I do like Southern Comfort whiskey. It kind of reminds me more of a rum. It's more of a milder whiskey. Kind of reminds me of rum, definitely. So, um, but overall, probably coffee is my favorite to have with cigars. Rum is my second favorite. So, but I probably drink 90% of the time with my cigars is coffee. Probably 10% of the time is probably a little bit of rum, so. And I've got a little bit of a supply down here, and I do like tequilas as well. That's another thing I like. So once in a while I'll have a little bit of tequila with the cigar too. One thing I found out is you got to be careful what you drink with your cigars. Depending on what it is, it can change the taste of your cigar, for the better or for the worse. So I was drinking a beer with one of my cigars. I can't remember what beer it was, but I think it was a Corona. It just made my cigars not taste very good. So if I'm going to drink a beer with my cigar, I'm a big fan of shiners. So I'm going to look at maybe doing more shiners with my beer. They've got different flavors of shiners. There's seasonals for Christmas, and there's one that I just got at my store and I need to grab it still, but it's kind of a trail mix type of theme, flavor notes in it. So I think that might be good with my cigars. So I'm going to try that. But that's one thing I love about the cigars that I smoke. Premium cigars. I love all the different taste notes. Chocolates, coffees, like I said, maybe barnyard hay or vanillas. But I'm a huge fan I like sweet cigars. I like some of the acids, and I do carry some acids at my store. And I like the Sweet Janes and the Fat Bottom Betties the most, probably. I even, when I have to have a quick one or something, I like the little Cigarello Sweet Janes that are out by the Deadwood Tobacco Company. Those are kind of a fun little cigar to smoke. They're premium cigars as well, rolled, but they're just kind of cigarette sized. And so I do like those ever so often too. So those are more for if I'm maybe driving somewhere. Kind of nice to have one on the way to going out of town somewhere. So, yes, unfortunately, once in a while I do smoke a cigar in my car, but I don't do it very often. Once in a while, maybe. And I do love smoking a cigar like on the way to a concert. And then getting to the concert early and doing my own little tailgate where I've got my cigars and some beer or something, but that's always kind of fun. But yeah, so I've gotten into cigars more for the tastes and the aromas from the smoke. That's one thing I really like about cigars is it's almost the same concept if you're into coffee. You drink different coffees for the taste notes and the smells and the aromas. And that's the same concept with cigars. It's you don't inhale them. I've never smoked a cigarette, so I don't know what it's like to inhale. My son tried getting me to try a cigarette and his vapes, and I couldn't get the inhaling down, and I don't want to inhale anything. I'm hoping my son will finally get away from the cigarettes and the vapes and maybe go to smoking cigars more. But where he lives, he's renting a place and they don't allow smoking inside. So especially in the cold months, he can vape inside, and it doesn't cause any problems. He's got to go out to his car in the wintertime and smoke a cigarette or go outside to do that. So he's gotten into the vapes more just so he can do it inside and get his nicotine fix. And I like my nicotine fix too, but through this, not cigarettes or vapes. Just can't get into it. And health-wise, it concerns me. The negative health benefits from it. There's not a lot of research showing that there's a lot of really any cancers that are linked with cigars. very small percentage, if any, like a 0.5%, I studied, has maybe been linked to cancers from cigars, but I've been listening to people on YouTube and God, people that are in their late 80s or so that smoked cigars all their life and they're still in great health. So that's encouraging. So, but yeah, I don't see myself ever stopping smoking cigars, but I got into it and I really enjoy it. It's a really relaxing experience after a long day. You know, and I still like to have a little coffee with my cigar more than anything, but actually I forgot. I do like to have Stella wine. They're a sweeter wine, of course. I like to have those with my cigars too. So that's the other thing I like to have with my cigars, and I've kind of been doing that a little more too, having some wine, you know, with my cigars. Maybe I'll dabble more with wines down the road, maybe. Anyway, I'm still got a little ways to go with the cigar, so I'll pause this for now again, and I'm gonna take this band off because I'm getting close to where the band is, so I'd like to take that off so I can smoke the rest of this. And I do like to smoke it down to the nub. I like to get my money's worth, I guess. So, but anyway, I'll be back. Well, I'm back. Couldn't stay away for very long. I'm really enjoying talking to all of you guys. This cigar is just, it's been a great cigar to smoke. I've really been enjoying this. Yeah, I'm in the mood a lot of time for more full-bodied cigars. But I tell you what, this one's been, excuse me, I'm sorry. Had to adjust my glasses. It's been a really enjoyable cigar. It's been mild to medium bodied, and again, this is the Perdomo Habano 6x60 sun-grown cigar, aged in barrels, whiskey barrels. I think it was aged for about 6 years, I believe, from what I read about. So anyway, but pretty enjoyable cigar. Really enjoying it, and been watching the American Werewolf in London video that I picked up on eBay for like $6, Blu-ray, slightly used. It's in really good shape, but got it for about $6 on eBay to add to my collection and to finally watch. I'd never seen it. I've always heard about it, but never saw it. So I've had a chance to kind of watch that a little bit today. But I'm enjoying talking to you guys and hanging out with you guys a lot. Like I said, I was in the music business. I was actually in the TV business a little bit too at one time. I worked for a TV station, ran cameras, sound, lights. But I always wanted to be one of those guys that actually talked on the news, but never had the confidence levels, I guess, to do that. So doing this has kind of given me a chance to, and I've always been a fan of DJs or, you know, people that talk on podcasts, and always kind of wanted to have my own podcast. So maybe that's something I'll look into eventually, is maybe doing some podcasts. So I got to learn more about that. But I've always told I've got the voice for radio and TV, and maybe I do, I don't know. But yeah, I feel pretty good doing this, and I'd like to keep doing it. So if you guys want me to keep continuing to hang out with you guys and talk with you, I'd like to do that. Let me know. But anyway, yeah, I hope I will make some new friends through this, and some new people in the cigar business, or just, you know, people that enjoy cigars, to get to know you all. But yeah, again, I want to say hi to my mom back in Torrington. She's been a huge support with anything I do. And when I first told her I was getting into cigars, she wasn't sure about that too much. She was concerned about health issues, but talking to her more about it and teaching her about what I've gotten to know about it. She's actually been pretty supportive of it. And I want to say hi to my brother back in Sheridan, Wyoming. He delivers milk, but and he stopped smoking cigarettes. After 12 years of battling, trying to stop smoking cigarettes, he stopped. But he was down here visiting a while back, and he had a cigar with me. We shared one, and he had never really had those too much, and he thought that was pretty great. So I'm hoping he'll come back and smoke them with me soon. His wife really isn't too keen on him smoking anything really, which I understand. She's concerned about his health as well and doesn't want him to fall back into old habits. But he definitely expressed that he really enjoyed the experience of it, and liked the idea of not being so bad on his health, so. And I know with anything, whether you're drinking or smoking, whatever it is, I know there's always health risks. So I do keep that in the back of my mind with cigars, and I understand that there's no guarantees that cancers can evolve from it, but from the studies I've read upon about cigar smoking and health benefits with it, it's been more 99% positive, more than anything. So and I'm not someone that smokes cigars all day throughout the day. I have, if I'm in a social situation with my friends, or I might have a couple cigars. I'll be honest, the most I've smoked at once is 3. I was out on my porch this last summer. My wife was out of town. I had nothing really going on too much. I had gotten the yard work done. And so I sat out all night just trying different cigars that I'd picked up. So I ended up smoking about 3 cigars that night. But other than that, I usually smoke maybe 1 in the evening. Sometimes, with my work situation, sometimes I don't have a lot of time, so maybe I get in 1 or 2 a week. And that's about as much as I, like I said, on the average, one per day, 1 in the evening. So I try not to overdo it, but in social situations, or if I'm by myself and my wife's out of town for some reason, and there's not much going on, I'll have a couple, I'll be honest, so. And on the average, most cigars I smoke will usually last about an hour, hour and a half. So if I have a few hours to spare and I'm in the middle of watching a movie or listening to music even, or listening to podcasts or watching stuff on YouTube, I might have a couple. So anyway, this is about where I'm at with my cigar. Still got a little ways to go, actually. So far I've been into this cigar probably, hour and a half, hour 45 minutes probably, approximately, I'm guessing. So it's been a long-lasting cigar, and I still haven't had to relight it or touch it up. It's still burning fairly even, as you see. And the ash, you're starting to see the ash finally, getting to see the ash that I'm talking about. Just really nice and white and grayish ash, which shows that they definitely aged it properly, and the construction has been great. The binder and the wrapper has been staying together, no falling apart or cracking. And so with cigars, if you're just learning, the outside is your wrapper, and what you cut off on the end is the tip, and you don't want to cut too far in. You don't want to cut a big piece off. You want to just cut enough off to get the airflow going. So I don't cut off. For width wise, probably a dime's width. As you can see, that's about how much I cut off. Not very much. But anyway, so you got the wrapper, and then underneath you got the binder, and that's what holds the different leaves that they roll inside is what holds it in and together. So and sometimes they all come from the same region, sometimes they come from different regions, the wrapper, binder, and filler. The long fillers is what you want to get. They're the ones that are going to have a lot of the different taste notes, and it keeps your cigar lasting quite a while. There's short filler also that they use in the cheaper cigars, like at your C stores and like the Swisher Sweets. They're all short binders, so they smoke very quick. There's some cigars where they use the long binder and short, or the long filler and short filler, which is the liaison top belt that they roll, or that's on the inside of your cigar. And those will not always burn real quick. They'll last a little while yet, about an hour, depending on what size cigar you buy. Most cigars I smoke are Churchills, and they're a longer cigar. Lasts a couple hours of smoke usually. The biggest cigar I've smoked is a 7x70. Big Johnny is what it's called. And it was from a company called Leaf, and it was like I said, it was a 7x70, I believe is what it was. There's an 8x80 out there, but I haven't tried that yet. But so the biggest cigar I've smoked is a 7x70, and that took me, gosh, it took me almost 4 hours to smoke that one. So if you guys want a picture of me with that cigar, I'll put it up, for you to see. But you can also get a hold of me on my Facebook page. It's just under Troy Harper on Facebook. And if you want to go there sometime, I will show you a picture of that that I smoked. It was quite the cigar. I really enjoyed it. It tasted good, lasted a long time. But I don't know, I'm not into those too much. They're just too hard to store in my humidors, for one. So if I ever get another one, it's going to have to be one that I buy and smoke it, immediately. But yeah, right now my humidors are pretty filled up with different cigars. I do have a lot of Churchills. I have a couple Lanceros, which are a real long, skinny looking cigar. For the dimensions, I couldn't tell you. I can't remember what the dimensions are on those. And I can't remember what the dimensions are on the Churchills either. I'm really bad about with the bigger cigars, knowing the dimensions on some of the Churchills and Lanceros. I'm not real good on that, but most cigars I smoke are either the Churchills or any cigars that are around a 5x50 or 6x60. And the 5x50, the 50 is the when you hear someone say a cigar is a 6x60 or 5x50, they're talking about the length and the ring gauge on the cigar is what they're talking about. So a 5x50 would be a 5-inch ring gauge by 50 inches long, is pretty much the only way to explain it. So but yeah, I definitely want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think of this video. If it was boring, if you enjoyed it, if it was too long, whatever. I want to know, because I would like to be able to keep doing this and be successful at it, and keep your guys' interest, definitely. I want to do whatever it takes for you to want to keep tuning in and enjoying this and hanging out with me. And like I said, I'm not doing this for any money reasons. I'm not doing this to sponsor any cigar companies. I'm just doing this out of my own free time. And my wife and myself have talked about me doing this, and we're even looking at maybe getting a microphone and a recording device so I can do some podcasts maybe down the road. I would really enjoy doing that, since I never really got to do the DJ thing, or talking on the news, or talking being a video DJ, whatever, video DJ, whatever you want to call it. Since I've never gotten to do that, this is kind of fun getting to do this, and finally getting to kind of do something. But after so many years of thinking about doing this, I'm finally dabbling in it and want to keep doing better and better with this. And so anyway, I'm gonna have to ash this here in a minute, I think, so it doesn't fall on me, or on my carpet that's underneath me that my wife bought for me. So anyway, but that's the ash so far. Got a beautiful ash. Construction's great on this cigar, it really is. I'm can't wait to have some more of these. Let me ash this really quick. Okay, so now I've ashed it. So there's what it looks like after you've ashed it. So but in your comments, let me know where you like to smoke. Let me know how often you smoke, maybe, or just let me know everything about what you do. Maybe I can learn from you. Hopefully you can learn some things from me. But like I said, I've been smoking cigars regularly now, and learning about them and trying different things, and diving into this hobby since whenever Father's Day was, or well, like I said, I had a premium cigar for the first time a couple of years ago with some guys from the Dallas Cowboys back in Dallas, and a buddy of mine that is a rep for Religion Tequila. That was such a neat trip a couple of years ago, getting to go down there and hang out with my buddy, and getting to see Dallas, home of my favorite football team. And I love the Dallas Mavericks basketball team. I actually follow all the Texas teams. Huge Texas Longhorns fan. Grew up on them with my dad, in which he passed away almost 6 years ago. But he's the one that got me into the Dallas Cowboys and the Texas Longhorns, and even used to like the Houston Oilers, but just gravitated more towards the Cowboys. They always had star players, and they were just always, even if they lost, they were such exciting games. And it's still the same way. They're just, when you watch a Cowboys game, you don't know what to expect or what's going to happen. Watching them is just, I don't know, amazing. And I get upset and I get depressed and I get down when they lose, especially if it's in the playoffs, because I'm hoping they'll get back to the Super Bowl this year. They haven't been to a Super Bowl since '95, and so I've been waiting very patiently all these years. I wish my dad could have been around to see them get to another Super Bowl. Fortunately, that didn't happen. But our last greatest memory, or time together, I took my dad to see the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas, at the old stadium. The old stadium they were in, they tore down back in 2008, 2009, and so I got to take my dad to the last Monday Night Football game back in 2008. Last Monday night game at Texas Stadium, the old Texas Stadium. We got seats right behind the end zone where all the action was, and got to see the Cowboys. It was one of those games where it went down in history as one of the best showdowns between a rival, and they were playing the Philadelphia Eagles. Dallas ended up winning that game, but it was just one of those games where it was just back and forth all night. There was fumbles, there was a lot of sacks on the quarterbacks, and just a lot of bombs, and A lot of great runs between both teams. It was just one of those teams where they just battled it out to the end. And fortunately, Dallas made it, came out on top, which was great since we flew to go see that game. Drove to Denver, Colorado, and flew from Denver to Dallas. Got to go see the game, and fortunately, it was a quick trip. Left the next morning. Got there the afternoon before of the game, the same day of the game, and left pretty early the next morning. Just because of my work situation, didn't have a lot of time, but I just knew I had to get my dad to one of those games, and it was always a thing we talked about, going to see a Monday night game with the rival, the Eagles, or the Redskins, or the Giants. Well, so it was the Eagles we got to see, and it was such a great time, and exciting, and to say the least. But we had a great time, and so that was the last great thing we got to do with each other before he passed later on. So I wish we could have went and caught another Dallas game. We had always talked about going to see another one, and just it never happened. But I'm glad I got to have that. I still, will be one of my greatest memories with my dad. Over the years, we went and saw, professional baseball games with the Colorado Rockies, and got to see the Cincinnati Reds, and never got to see the Texas Rangers. That's one of my teams. Went to Denver Bronco games, and just went and saw, hockey games. One of our other greatest memories was getting to see the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars play together in Denver, and Dallas won that one. And I can't remember what year that was, but that was probably back in 2005, I'm guessing, around there. So I'm glad we got to do that before he eventually passed away. But anyway, here's to you, Dad. And miss you every day. Miss you every day. But anyway, my dad's favorite beer when he was alive was, oh gosh, darn it, now I can't even think of it. The Lone Star beer. So whenever I run into those or find them, I usually buy them and have one for my dad. Hopefully I can find some soon again. But my favorite beer probably is Heineken. And I will have to try a Heineken sometime with my cigars. I haven't never tried a Heineken with my cigars, but that's my favorite beer. If I'm going to have a beer, is Heineken. A lot of good memories with that. Back in high school, back in '88, the year I graduated from high school, got to go see AC/DC in Casper, Wyoming. White Lion opened up for him. It was on the Blow Up Your Video tour. Got to go backstage with AC/DC. We ended up driving the bus driver of them to the post office. He had some business stuff he had to send out, and we just happened to be the ones that he asked if we could do that. And so we talked him into giving us backstage passes, so we got to go backstage with AC/DC and hang out. And that was the first time I got to have a Heineken beer. They had just tubs and tubs and tubs full of Heineken beer in their dressing room. And we were staying in the same hotel with them, which was the Hilton Inn at the time. They asked us if we were staying at the hotel, and we said we were. So they loaded us up with all kinds of Heinekens to take back to our room. So we drank Heinekens all night and just celebrated getting to hang out with AC/DC and getting to see them. And White Lion opened up for him. We actually got to hang out in White Lion's bus because we got into the wrong line to go backstage to see AC/DC. We got in White Lion's line, so we ended up in their tour bus. Half-naked girls running around all over the place in there, and we couldn't figure out where AC/DC was and what was going on. Really, we were just mind blown at the time. But well, anyway, so White Lion ended up coming up on the bus, and So we got to hang out with White Line for a few minutes, got some autographs and talked to him. Well, then one of the backstage security guys came in and was asking to see our backstage passes, and we showed him ours. And of course, different areas or different groups, whatever you're going to see after the show or before, backstage passes had different colors. So the White Line backstage pass at the time was like a pink, and the AC/DC backstage pass to go see AC/DC was green. Well, we had the green ones, of course, and they said, well, you're in the wrong area, you need to be over there. So we left the bus, and got in line to go see AC/DC. So we got to hang out with AC/DC for a good hour or so, and they were just great guys, really great guys. But getting to meet Angus Young, which is a guitar god to me, along with Eddie Van Halen and Zach Wilde, oh my gosh, Tony Iommi, oh my gosh, who else? Of course, Oz Fox from Stryper. Definitely put her in the top 10 of my favorite guitarists. Not only because I've been, close to these guys for a long time in Stryper, but and gotten to work with them, of course. But gosh, there's so many good guitarists, and of course Steve Vai, and Jeff Beck that just passed away, of course. There's so many great legends and guitarists that I have known of and looked up to for over the years. And of course, I'm not a guitarist. I have dabbled with bass guitar, but I've been a drummer myself over the years. Fortunately, I don't have any drums right now, but maybe down the road, I'll look into getting a set again. But well, I'd like to kind of dabble in bass again, maybe. So, anyway, a little bit more about things I like and enjoy, but but damn, this cigar is good. It really is. I'm in the last third. Slight sweetness, leathery, a little bit of cedarish, still cedar taste. And believe me, I'm not an expert on taste notes. There's so many things I listen to. I listen to Cigar Snob podcasts. I listen to the Cigar Authority, and they smoke cigars during these podcasts and tell you what they're smoking and the taste notes. And I don't know. I don't get the same taste notes as some of these guys that talk about their cigars. And when I go to try them, I don't always get the same taste notes they get. I get my own taste notes usually. So, but yeah, this is really good cigar. I definitely recommend the Perdomo Habano sun-grown cigars, especially if you're a beginner. Just not too strong, not too mild, but not too strong either. And I say definitely dabble with different cigars. Find out what is best for you. And don't let anyone tell you what you should smoke. You smoke what you enjoy, even if it is just Swisher Sweets. Which I recommend you advance yourself into more of the premium stuff. You're going to pay more money, but your smoking experience is going to be longer and enjoyable, and you're going to get all kinds of different taste notes and aromas. And but Swisher Sweets was a good one to start out with, and I did that for a lot of years, off and on. And if you like Swisher Sweets and you want to try more of a premium cigar and you like the sweeter stuff, I definitely recommend the Sweet Janes or the Fat Bottom Betties or the Leather Rose, all from the Deadwood Tobacco Company associated with the Drew Estate Company, and they're out of Nicaragua. I definitely recommend those if you want to advance to the premiums. And they're not terribly expensive. Or between $8.99 to $13.99 a cigar. And for the smoking experience and the length of how long it takes to smoke a cigar, it's definitely worth the price. It definitely is. I could probably smoke a whole pack of Swisher Sweets, which I think there's about 6 in a pack. I could probably smoke all 6 of those in the time it takes to smoke one cigar of these. So I definitely recommend the premiums. I really do. For what you're paying for a premium cigar, you know, you're going to get a lot more enjoyment out of it than the Swisher Sweets or something like that. But if you're, you know, on a tight budget, you don't have a lot of money, maybe if you're in college, or, you know, you're pretty young and just don't have a lot of money, yeah, I mean, smoke Swisher Sweets, you know. But there's a lot of premium cigars. If you go on the websites, and there's all kinds of websites to go to. My favorite is Cigar Place. You can get packs of 5s, you can get variety packs, you can get singles, you can get boxes, and the prices are unreal. They got everything about half off, no shipping usually, no shipping fees. I don't recommend you doing that unless you've got a good humidor to put your cigars in, whether it's just a desktop cigar humidor or something. But you need to make sure your humidity levels are good. You need to make sure that I use Boveda packs. So look up Boveda if you're investing in a desktop humidor or something. Get the Boveda packs. I use usually around 72% in my cigar humidors. It doesn't get them too humidified, or but you want to keep your cigars between 62 and 72. Anywhere under 62 or anywhere above 72 will ruin your cigars. Above 72, you can get they're called cigar beetles. You'll know if you got them. You'll see a hole in your cigar, and if you've got one cigar that's got that, it will transfer to the rest of your cigars and ruin all your cigars. So you don't want that to happen. So you want to keep it 72 at the highest humidity. Anything above that, you'll end up getting cigar beetles. I've only had one cigar. Of all the cigars I've had so far, I've had one cigar that had maybe a cigar beetle, because I put too much humidity in my cigar humidor, and I hadn't checked on it for a few days. I've gotten into a habit of checking my humidors every day, morning and night, to make sure the humidities are staying where they need to be. But I went about 4 or 5 days without checking my cigars once, and luckily my cigars weren't ruined. I only had one cigar that had a little hole in it, and I went ahead and took it out, and I ended up smoking the dang thing. Just because I didn't want to go to waste. And it was fine. I didn't notice really any beetles in it or anything weird, but there was a possibility of it. I don't know for sure if there was or not, but I would never want that to happen. So I make sure I check my cigars every day. But anyway, if you keep your cigars under 62, they can dry out and they can crack, and it'll ruin your cigars. It will. I've had one in the beginning of learning all this. I had a few cigars that were in my humidor that got under 62, and I don't know how long they had been in there for. Again, it was a time where I got busy with work. I didn't check my humidity levels every day like I do, of course, now. Now for a while I have, but they were under 62, and I went to go smoke one, and it ended up unraveling on me and cracked, and I got halfway through, and the whole wrapper fell off, and the binder underneath was cracked. It was awful. So I make sure that my humidity levels are good. I make sure every day I check those humidity levels. I check them at work morning and night and through the day. In my humidors at work. I've got a humidor up in my office that I got some backstock in, and I check that 3 times a day. I use Boveda packs at work as well in my humidors. I got 2 humidors at my store, and they're stand-up humidors. So at work I carry approximately, I probably got about 25 different cigars. So, and I'm kind of switching them in and out. If I run out of one, if it's a really good seller, I'll I'll reorder. If it didn't sell as good as I wanted it to, I'll go ahead and bring in something different to replace it. So it's been fun, being in this, being involved in this at work as well. So, but anyway, got a little ways to go still. But this has sure been a good cigar. It really has. This cigar particularly did not have drastic taste note changes. It stayed about the same. It's been staying about the same through the cigar. Some slight taste differences, but this one particularly, I think the binder, wrapper, and filler all came from Nicaragua. But there are a lot of cigars where they get the wrapper, binder, filler from different areas, and when they combine all that together, you get all those different taste notes, like coffees and vanilla, spices, hay, whatever. But but anyway, I'll let you guys go for now. I'm gonna go up and spend a little time with the family. I'm gonna finish smoking this, but I don't think the taste notes are gonna change much through the rest of this, so I'll go ahead and end this. But yeah, I hope to see you guys soon, and I hope to do more of these, and I hope to get some requests for more of these. For my first video, yeah, I think I did pretty good. I think I've done pretty good. But anyway, I hope I haven't bored you guys. I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me a little bit. And I want to hear from you. I want to know where you're from. I want to know what you're into for cigars. And I will hope to hear from you. So I will talk to you later, but cheers to you guys. And God bless. And thanks for hanging with me. And I will, again, hopefully see you soon and be able to communicate with you somehow too. So have a good rest of your day.